Yo, welcome back, Card Nation, and welcome back to today's edition of L1C4 Basketball, the podcast now. Now, today's first episode now. Look, I've ran the Instagram page for a while now, a few years actually. A bunch of former and current Cardinals following the page, and I've been teasing a podcast being started for a while now, and today I think it's a perfect time to, being that the Cardinals are starting to build some program momentum or a culture shift in some sense under Kenneth Victor Payne. Now, before I say anything else, make sure you subscribe to the channel below, and make sure that you guys comment what kind of content you guys want to see on L1C4 Basketball aside from the podcast. I'm going to try to bring you guys some interviews, try to bring you guys some other kind of coverage, etc. Now, today's game, 89-83, we take a loss to NC State here at home at the KFC Yum Center, but this is coming off a 9-point win against a good Miami team in Miami who, before that game, I believe was 25-1 in their last 26 home games, which is absolutely unbelievable, being that this is a Kenny Payne coach team and being that the entire fan base, for most part, does want Kenny Payne out. However, I think that these last two games, including today's loss, in which we looked very good on offense, I believe. However, on defense, we just couldn't guard the three to save our entire lives, and that will continue to be an issue until that gets coached up. But the last two games have shown me that the same way that we see college basketball players improve, there may be a chance that we can see college coaches improve. Now, I'm not saying by any stretch of the imagination that these last two games are proof that we need to keep Kenny Payne for a third year. What I am saying, though, is that you can see progress in the way that Kenny is connecting with these players and the way that Kenny is learning how to be a head coach for a Division I college basketball team, let alone a top 5, top 10 program of all time in the Louisville basketball team. Now, Mike James has another stellar game today. 20 points, 5 rebounds, and 1 assist in 38 minutes. Mike James is the clear best player on this team, in my humble opinion, and has carried us all year in terms of the energy, in terms of the effort, in terms of the I'm not going out like thisness. I mean, he is I kind of agree with Kenny. That's one thing that Kenny has said repeatedly. There's very few things that Kenny has repeatedly said in press conferences that makes a lot of sense, and one of them that does make a lot of sense is that he wouldn't lose if he had 12 Mike Jameses. I completely agree. If you have a team of Mike James kind of guys who are going to go out there and give it their all every single play, offense, defense, etc., just effort plays. You know what I mean? Effort plays, and that's what Mike James brings you. I hope he comes back next year, whether Kenny's here or not. He has a chance to, depending on if Kenny can build a team that even takes a bigger step next year, or if a new coach can come in and build around him. Mike James has a chance to be one of the most beloved players in Louisville history simply for sticking with us through all this downtime when he could have very well took his talents elsewhere, as many other Cards did over the previous offseason. So, Mike James, love to see it out of him. Brandon Huntley-Hatfield, 13 points and 10 rebounds. Had a little bit of trouble at times with the big boy Burns on NC State, who I happen to dislike a whole lot. I hate the way that it just looks like he's having fun out there. Like, dude, stop having fun. Please stop having fun and just, I don't know. He just smiles too much. He plays around. I don't know. A lot of that is probably him being a very good player. However, I dislike him. But Brandon Huntley-Hatfield didn't do too terrible with him. Had a couple good shots in the immediate post, and you can see him going back to the bench at one point and Kenny hyping him up, and I love seeing that out of Kenny Payne. Love seeing him show that emotion and show that that real coachingness that, guys like Patino, guys like Roy Williams, guys like Jim Boeheim, guys like Tom Izzo, guys like, and so on and so forth, showed throughout their collegiate coaching career. So that is something else that's starting to come out of Kenny. Is a lot more energy, a lot more passion, and you love to see it. If he does want to keep his job, that is how he's going to do it, is through energy, passion, keeping the team together, connecting to the team, and not only the team, but the fans in the stands who showed out today. And they showed, I think the fans came out today to just show the Cards, hey, look, it doesn't take much for us to just show us something. That 9-point win against Miami was all they needed to see, even after a loss to a 1-7 DePaul earlier in the season, even after losses to horrible teams and low-level teams to start the season. We showed as a fan base that, look, you show us anything and we're going to be there. That's what Louisville basketball is. We are going to be there. It's just what it is. One of the best fan bases in the country, one of the best programs in the country, and we are going to show up if you show us absolutely anything. Sky Clark, 10 points, 2 assists, 1 rebound. Now, Sky Clark plays better today. I think we come out of here with an easy dub. He had many careless turnovers. It felt like only 3 turnovers listed, but they felt careless whenever he did turn it over, and a couple fouls that were just, you don't like to see it, but and I think Sky knows that himself, that he can play better than he did today. He can be the best player on this team at his best. A bit of inconsistency from him throughout the season. However, I love his game, and I love that he seems to be about Louisville and about the program. He tweeted after the game today and said, "Stick with us. We're working our tails off," and I love to see him communicate with the fans like that and show that he cares about us, knowing that they are putting in the work to give us a good product out there. The other two starters, aside from Mike James, Huntley Hatfield, and Sky Clark, Hersey Miller and D'Lo Jovanovic. Now, this guy, D'Lo, I have no idea why he's with the program. I can tell you that much. 0 points, 0 assists, 0 rebounds. Of course, only in 3 minutes, the same as Hersey, but I would have done the same thing if I was Kenny today and played him only 3 minutes, because that guy brings you virtually nothing. Just absolutely nothing. If I'm Kenny from now on, I'm starting either Caleb Glenn or Curtis Williams over him, and I'll get to Curtis Williams in a second. Matter of fact, no, let's get to Curtis Williams right now. Curtis Williams, 15 points, 2 assists, 5 rebounds. He kept us in this game today with many great threes, many good shots. One should have been a foul on a mid-range shot. Curtis Williams, I hope, is another player, along with Mike James, that regardless of who the coach is next year, I hope he stays with the program. So much potential in him, and seems to be about the team as well whenever I see him talk in press conferences. The other freshman off the bench, Tyler Johnson, 14 points and 5 assists. He kept us in it late in the game whenever we was down, 13 with about 2 minutes left. His energy is a lot of what brought us back into it, and his energy is very vital for this team's success. But yeah, 89-83 today. That's all I'll cover in terms of stats for our team. Caleb Glenn had a solid game too, 4 points and 3 rebounds. That's all you really expect out of him. An energy guy who's going to give you his all out there. And he had to play center some today, which makes sort of kind of sense because you don't want to see D'Lo out there, of course. I mean, again, abysmal player. Just don't know why he's with the program. Not abysmal. I don't want to be mean to him. I love each and every Louisville Cardinal. I've always loved him, but this guy does not deserve playing time on a Louisville basketball team. He just doesn't. But Caleb Glenn played some center today, which does make sense because, again, D'Lo shouldn't get that much playing time. And J.J. Traynor and Emmanuel Okorafor are both out with injury. Of course, Traynor for the whole year, which is devastating, and Okorafor for the foreseeable future, I believe. But we got Trey White back today from injury, 7 points and 4 rebounds from him. Trey White just has to play within the offense more. I hear Kenny talk about it all the time. It's another thing Kenny talks about that makes sense. He wants Trey White to be a stat sheet filler rather than be the main scorer or the guy who's trying to be the star. And there was a couple times today I felt Trey could have passed the ball instead of doing his turnaround jumper that he so loves. Although it did go in a couple times, you do want to see more of a team game from Trey White. The Cards moved to 6-10 with this game, and we got a big game on Wednesday, ladies and gentlemen. It sounds crazy to say this is a big game, but in Chapel Hill against the 7th-ranked North Carolina Tar Heels, if Louisville were to win this game, it is the culture shifter. I'm talking, the Miami was a culture shifter. This would be the culture shifter in terms of if they win this game, I feel like the rest of the season really is an audition for Kenny to keep his job for a third year. If they were to lose this game or get blown out in this game, I believe that Josh Hurt is still pretty much set on, hey, we're moving on at the end of the year. He's not the caliber coach we need, unless we were to beat a Duke later, unless we were to beat another big team later. But let's not act like this team has not shown flashes this year, ladies and gentlemen. A buzzer beater being missed away from beating Texas, a ranked Texas team, up 7 against an Indiana team with 4 minutes left in the game. And although we took some bad losses, we've been in there with a lot of good teams this year. And for that, I clap it up for the team, and I'm happy for them. And I hope that they can continue to build on it and learn to finish these games out, and come away with some dubs. I will not say that I've seen much great tangible growth in terms of strategy on Kenny's part. Still running a weird zone at times that results in wide open threes. Still looks like some players are clueless on some plays. However, it's coming together slowly. And I can see that they at least are getting some kind of repetition in not knowing what to do. You know, it's one thing to just not know what to do every play. It's another thing to not know what to do, but know what to do when you don't know what to do, if that makes any sense at all. And these guys seemingly are putting it together themselves, which is kind of what you expect a Kenny Payne coach team to do, considering he came from the Calipari tree. And Calipari talks about that all the time, how he likes to just have the players to just let his team run the team themselves rather than him have to coach them up all crazy strategically like some other of the great coaches do historically. So, you know, hopefully Kenny can build on this. Hopefully the team can build on this. I loved watching us compete today, even though we lost. I love seeing the Yum Center come out there or the fans at the Yum Center come out there and absolutely show that we are still Louisville basketball. Whether losing, winning, whatever, we are Louisville basketball. And I'm hoping that today and the Miami game, the Miami win, are flashes of what is to come for this program, because truthfully, in my heart of hearts, I want Kenny to succeed. I do. I want Kenny to turn this thing around and make it a miracle job in terms of going from a 4-28 team to having a team that is right now 6-10 and could hopefully end the year better. I would love to see us make a run in the ACC tournament. I would love to see him keep his job due to team play being much better. However, it's still hard to see that happening at this very moment in time. But we're seeing growth, and we're seeing a culture shift. We're seeing energy out of the players. We're seeing players that look like they want to play for the coach that is on that sideline, which is, we got reports of course, around Christmas that the whole team was saying that they want Kenny to stay. So, yeah, hope we can build on this. Comment below what kind of content you guys want to see from me. I'm going to continue to post on L1C4 basketball on Instagram. Make sure you follow me over there. And all things Louisville basketball here on this channel. Bygone it. Go Cards. We out. Deuces.